Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Most of you guys that know me from doing my comic book reviews and all my other videos like that. Today, I decided I was going to make a special video. I've been wanting to make this video for the last couple of years now, and before I even get started, I just want to state that everything that I'm going to be talking about in this video is soulfully truth, and none of this is made up. This is actual accounts of a story that I experienced and a few other people that I was with experienced, and I'm not making any of this up. This story has been published in the Weird New Jersey issues that are right alongside me. It's just basically an account and a story that I wanted to get out there, that I've been meaning to do for the last couple of years now. I never got around to it, but now I'm finally getting around to it. And now in this day and age of technology, how everything is so much easier to make videos or whatnot, so finally getting to it. And basically, I used to go to film school in New York City. For yous that don't know, I was a cinematographer. That's what I majored in. And back in the day, I used to have a studio in Hoboken in the old Neiman building, like the old building where they used to make leather in. It was there since like the 1800s, I believe. Anyway, so I used to have that studio and we used to do projects there all the time. The building itself was kind of like creepy. It always just very old and dusty and just had like that really old factory look. And I never made anything of it. Awesome place to hang out. It was in the best location. It had a rooftop overseeing New York City. It was awesome, man. Like the best place you could possibly want to have a studio. Anyway, one day, we get a phone call from a model that I wanted to do a project with us, and we were doing it was headshots. We were doing headshots for this model, and set up this whole shoot. And there was like this really grungy like floor where like it looked like it hadn't been touched in years. Like the whole floor was destroyed. Like it looked like it hadn't been touched to 20. All the leather um things were everywhere still, and it was just this like really dark, creepy room to shoot in. So I was like, oh man, we got to shoot in there. Um, so we wind up, having this shoot. My father was also there. He's a photographer. We had this huge shoot going on, video as well. This whole project, awesome day. Everybody had fun. The crew was all, good. Anyway, later that night, I wind up coming home with my father. It had been late. It was probably like 2 in the morning. So I'm uploading all my video footage to my laptop and whatnot, and he's uploading all his still photography to his computer. And I go upstairs, I'm doing my thing, and then he's calling me in a panic. He's like, Manny, come down here. You have to check this out. So whatever, I stop what I'm doing. I run downstairs. I check out his computer. He's like, dude, check this out. This is not making any sense. Anyway, he's using this software, which I forgot what the name was, and it involves with Photoshop also, but it wasn't Photoshop. It was this software where you upload a still photo for headshots. It shapes out the face of the person that's in the photo. It's just an easier way to, like, when you have to mask things out or you have to feather or like soft touch skin and stuff. Um, so yeah, he did that, and this face recognition thing was picking up two faces. And at first, it didn't make sense. Like it would outline the model's face, and then right next to it, it was outlining another face. And my dad's like, dude, this is so weird right now. Like, what the hell is going on? So whatever, we didn't think anything of it. Then we started scrolling, and decided to do it in other pictures. Now I get chills just talking about this. Um, the airiest thing when he started doing it to the other pictures, and it started drawing the outline, you actually started to see an imprint of like eyes and a mouth, like orbs. It was like the eyes were like orbs, and the mouth had like a grin with almost like rat teeth, like just like this really creepy face. Freaked me out, and it freaked him out. So we're like, oh man, we gotta go and check out more of the pictures. So he keeps going through this and that, and he starts finding that that face is imprinted on her body. So not only was it that one image where like you saw that orb ghost looking creature on the brick wall, but then like her eyes, like his eyes appeared on her body. It was like imprinted on her body. It was so creepy, so creepy. And remind you, she was the only one in the photo. There was no one behind her. It was just her. She was the sole model that we were taking pictures of that day. And for whatever reason, this other, which I believe was a ghost, just happened to randomly be next to her during that moment. And it wind up so happened that when we brought this photo in, not knowing that in the face recognition program that it was going to wind up drawing an outline for her face and what was, I guess, the ghost's face, which we had no clue. Like I said, everything went fine that day. There was no spooky activity, no nothing. Everything went well. It was just a random, shoot, something that we would do commonly all the time and not even think about this. You always have back in your head that the building is creepy, but you never thought that something had happened there. So whatnot. So yeah, like I said, all this stuff had happened. We had those photos, we had the outlines, you had the actual two orbs and the smile and the actual facial expression and many of the photos. So we saved all of them. And I'll never forget, and I'm like, dude, I have to research this. So at that point, I was freaked out. Like, I didn't know what to do, how I would about it. I just wanted to delete all the photos off my phone because stuff like that, creeped me out. You don't want to bring back anything with you, but whatever. So I wanted deleting all the photos. My dad kept them. Thank God he kept them. Or else I wouldn't be able to do this video for you guys. And I would not have my story published in Weird New Jersey. But anyway, so like I said, I had to research what was going on. And I wound up going on NjJ.com and seeing if anything weird had happened in the Neiman Leathers building in Hoboken. And come to find out, as I start reading, that exact floor that I was working on with the crew, there was a man there who decided to hang himself in that actual bathroom on that floor. Freaked me out. Once I found out that someone had actually committed suicide on that floor, completely creeped me out. And the most freaky thing was, and I don't know this person's name, and this is not in any disrespect at all to that person. Hopefully that person now is, at rest and their soul is at rest. But when we went on to NjJ.com and brought up this person's photo, it looked exactly like the facial images that came up on the photos that we had took on our model. Literally freaked us out. Like, I got chills even talking about it. So anyway, so that whole thing had happened, and at this point we were done. I was like, dude, let's just delete the photos. This is crazy. I can't believe this even happened. It just freaked us out. It was something really creepy and spooky, and you never thought something like this would happen. You see this on TV all the time, but it never happens to you in person. So whatever. So delete them off our phones. My dad still kept them for whatever reason, and then just time passed, and then I was like, man, this is like a perfect story for Weird New Jersey. And I kept saying to myself, like, how would I ever be able to come in contact with these guys? Like, I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know whether or not to, like, go on a website or try to call them or see how you even get a story published on there. And like I said, I wasn't doing this for, like, any kind of, like, fame or nothing. Or I just wanted to get an actual account of a ghost story out. This is how ironic this story gets. So I kept telling my dad, dude, we have to try to figure out how to, like, get in contact with these guys. Like, I don't know how this happens. Like, how do we contact them and, get our story out or whatever? And my dad's like, oh, I don't know. We'll figure it out. So we never think about it. Yeah, it'll happen. You always say, oh, I'm going to wind up doing this, and it never happens. Anyway, this is so ironic, and it has to deal with comic books. I go to the comic book store, like, every Wednesday, and Saturdays I'm usually at a comic book store. So me and my dad decided to go to a comic book store. I don't know for what reason. We wanted to check out this new comic book store in Montclair, right? We get there, we go in, and as soon as this is how weird this is. As soon as I walk in, guess who's there doing a book signing? The creator of Weird New Jersey, Mark, and the guy who co-wrote this book with him, Jesse. And I'm like, this is so freaking weird that this is happening right now. Like, what are the chances that I've been trying to come in contact with these two guys and figuring out how to contact Weird New Jersey, that I go into this comic book store and these two guys are there signing books? Like, this was meant to happen. Like, I got chills. Like, wow, this is creepy. Like, it's almost like someone was trying to get me to get their story out in a way. That's how I kind of felt. But anyway, to make a long story short, because I know I don't want to keep this video dragging on, but like I said, I go into the comic book store, Mark is there, and the kid Jesse is there, and they had just wrote this book. And I was explaining to them how I've been a Weird New Jersey fan for, ever. Like, I grew up on it. Like in high school, I used to like going to all the places. I went to the Devil's Tree, Clinton Road. I've been to all of them. Like it was a big thing, you know, being in New Jersey when that whole Weird New Jersey book came out. Everybody was trying to go to all the spots in that book, and like me, you know, I'm into horror, and like I said, I was a film student, so like all that stuff comes hand in hand. You know, photography, film, horror movies, everything, and all the paranormal shows. So I grew up loving all that stuff, and like I never thought that this whole thing would happen to me. And you know, anyway, they're there, they're signing their books, and I'm like, you guys don't know how crazy this is. I've been trying to meet you guys and come in contact with you guys because I have a story to tell you. And they're like, oh yeah, well tell us what you know what happened. So I'm explaining to them the whole thing, how we had the photo shoot in the Neiman building on the third floor, and we started taking pictures. Then later that night, I went home and I uploaded the pictures to my software, and the face recognition kept recognizing the model and a male figure, and there was no male figure in the picture. We literally just shot the model, nobody else, and it kept recognizing, and then as we kept fast forwarding through the pictures, we kept seeing actual images of the orbs and the smile all over her. There was even one point where the eyes were on her stomach, and this thing was all over her body. And Mark was like, oh man, that story sounds pretty crazy, dude. You have to send me the images if you still have them on your phone. And I started laughing, and I was like, I kind of deleted them off my phone. Like, honestly, I was freaked out. And they all started laughing. And Mark was like, dude, well, you know, and Jesse was like, dude, you know, send us an email. And he gave me his personal email. And he's like, I want you to write this story like if you're telling it to me and like how you told it to your friends. So came home that night, wrote everything, sent them all the pictures, and a couple months later, you know, they published my story in the magazine. You know, it was pretty crazy how this whole thing worked out. And just We're New Jersey and Jesse and Mark are really awesome, and they took the time out to like hear me and hear my story and didn't tell me I was lying or whatever. They actually, you know, believed my account and my ghost story. Like they say, a lot of weird stuff happens in New Jersey, and a lot of people are skeptical about this stuff, but I could tell you this is not a lie. This is all true, and it's just a crazy story that happened to me and a couple of my buddies and my dad. And it's not, you know, it's nothing, you know, I'm not joking, I'm not lying, it's definitely real. Something that you guys like, because you guys, anybody that's into Weird New Jersey knows Mark and knows Jesse and all these guys that write all this stuff. They actually wrote something in here pretty cool for me, and it says, Manny, great meeting you at Eastside. That's what it was. It was Eastside Mags in Montclair, the comic book store. And they're like, Manny, great meeting you at Eastside Mags. Keep your eyes on that wall, meaning that brick wall where the apparition appeared. Keep your eyes on that wall! Exclamation point. And then the Jesse wrote, keep the word stories coming. And as you guys can see, they signed that book for me. It's pretty crazy. Like I said, this wasn't something that I'm lying about. It actually happened. And this was the book they had came out with, Death on the Devil's Teeth. Very interesting read, really creepy. This is actually something that happened in Springfield, and I'm in, you know, a couple towns over. So definitely a crazy book if you guys haven't checked this out. It's by them. Like I said, dude, it was an awesome experience meeting these guys, and I've been wanting to do this video for a very long time, and I never got around to it, and I figured I'd get it out to you guys, just a little ghost story on something that happened to me, and just my experience with Weird New Jersey and meeting the you know, creators of Weird New Jersey. Like I said, these guys are great, and they're awesome, you know, and I think they deserve a big thank you, because these guys are always posting and publishing people's stories and accounts, and it's just a cool thing to have in New Jersey, where you can open up a magazine, you can see all these things that are going on and stuff that you would never really think about, or something that you might nod your head and be like, that's like interesting, I never knew this was going on. And I love the magazine, and I hope it keeps going on for years. And yeah, guys, and like I said, you know, this is just my account. Everything is true that I'm telling you. I didn't make this up. This is an actual ghost story, and creepy. Thought I'd get it out for all you guys that are into the paranormal and the ghost stories. And I hope you like this video. And if you guys haven't checked out, I have a channel that's called Monster Comics, where I review comics and stuff. But hope you guys like this video. Give me a big thumbs up, and don't forget to share this and subscribe.